friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Shelby of Shelby and the Book Club, and in today's video we're going to talk about all things audiobooks. So I feel like since I started the book club and since I opened the bookstore, I've gotten a lot of mixed feelings about audiobooks. Some people feel like it's not really reading because you're listening. Other people just plain old don't like them or don't really know how to get into them. Other people don't listen at all. And then you have the people like me that do a little bit of both, right? I listen to some, I read the rest. And then you have the people that absolutely love audiobooks, like my mom, for example. So if you would like to hear some of my favorite audiobooks that I listen to over and over and over again throughout the year, and you would like to hear more about LibroFM, which you can now purchase audiobooks from Shelby in the Bookstore through LibroFM, stay tuned. So, I know you're wondering, Shelby, what in God's name is LibroFM? LibroFM is an audiobook service where you can support your independent bookstores through them and get your audiobooks, because not everybody really likes or has the time to sit down and read a hardcover book, or a physical book, I should say. And I totally understand that. So with LibroFM, it is $14.99 a month, and that goes towards, a percentage of that goes towards your indie bookstore of choice, which I hope it shall be in the bookstore. And you can get your audiobooks, and they have a very wide selection. The link will be below. If you would like to purchase audiobooks from me, you can either go to the website. There is a section on the website that you can go through and read all the other information about LibroFM and sign up through there. Or you can click the link that is in the underneath the bar and look into it from that way. So now let's get into some of my favorite audiobooks. So I listen to audiobooks fairly often now. I listen to them while I'm working. It's a way for me to tackle my TBR a little bit better, because sometimes I just don't have the time, especially being an entrepreneur now. Like, I have my own small business. I'm constantly doing something for the business, whether it is recording videos, recording reels, doing whatever. Or if I'm traveling. I've been traveling a lot back and forth to see my dad recently. And I listen to audiobooks, if not music. I listen to audiobooks on my rides. So, first on the list, we have Real Men Knit. Oh my gosh, this book was so lovely to listen to. It is a really good story if you are a knitter, if you are a crafter of some sort, and you like romance. I think you'll absolutely love this book. And listening to it very much felt like I was talking to my friend and she was telling me all of this stuff about this guy, and like I caught myself a couple of times talking back to the audiobook, like, girl, why'd you get your life together? Girl, don't do that. Get your life together. It was super, super, super good. So if you have not read or listened to that book, I totally implore you to. It is such a good book. Next, y'all probably gonna be tired of hearing me talk about this book, but I don't care, because it's a good book, and this is a Tia Williams stand account. 7 Days in June is phenomenal. It is a phenomenal read. It is also a phenomenal listen. I think what I love about audiobooks is, when done correctly, they pick the perfect actors and actresses to be the characters. So it's like, when you're reading a physical book, you get a vision of someone in your mind. But for me, at least, I don't often consider what they sound like. And when you're listening to an audiobook, I feel like the voice helps you put together what this character looks like in your mind. 7 Days in June is really one of my favorite books. And I don't even like romance. I do not like romance. Like, it's not my jam because I feel like it could be cheesy and a little unrealistic. 7 Days in June, though, girl, I listen to that often. When I feel like I need a palate cleanser, when I feel like I may be in a little bit of a reading funk and like, I don't really like none of the books that are on my TBR and my bookshelf is a mess and woe is me, first world problems, blah, blah, blah. I put on 7 Days in June. I put on 7 Days in June and I listen and it's like I never heard it before. Okay. Next on the list, this is a book that I haven't talked about in a while, I feel like, but Lovecraft Country. So this was one of those, I was enjoying reading it so much, but when I do a book club pick, I try to listen to some of it and read the rest so that I can kind of get the experience that the people in my book club might get. Just trying to be well-rounded. So that's a book that I listened to some of it, I read the rest of it, and then I go back and listen to that again often because, again, a very good voice actor for that book. And the story is just so good. Like, the setup is just so different. And when you really go into depth about why Matt Ruff wrote the book the way that he wrote it and the different sections of the book and so on and so forth, it makes you appreciate the book even more. So Lovecraft Country, and the show is good too. Get in there with both of them, girl. And then 2 more I have. One I've talked to you guys about before in a video where I talked about books that I could go back and listen to or read all over again. And that is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I sincerely feel like that book is a classic. And I just love listening to it. I don't even really know. I'm just a sucker for mythology, and his modern twist on mythology and just the story of the American Gods is just so fucking good. So that's something else that I listen to. I actually listen to a lot of his books, which you can find on LibroFM also as well, like Norse mythology, the Anansi Boys. He's just, I love Neil Gaiman. If y'all see him somewhere, tell him I said hey. Tell him I said hey. Tell him I said I love him. I know he don't really know me, but tell him I love him, and I hope he is doing well. Okay? And then last but not least is The Conductors, which I read recently. I don't remember when, but I read that recently. That is another book that I listened to some of it. I read some of it as well. I kind of did like a hybrid 50-50. And the voice actor, she was perfect. She was perfect. Like, every time I listened to it, I felt like I was transported to Philadelphia in that time, and I really felt like I was just watching them do what they were doing and solving these cases and so on and so forth. It is really, really good. And I actually think that I'm going to listen to the second book in that series instead of actually reading the copy, because I just love listening to that one so much. So it's like you have pros and cons to everything, right? But I think one thing about reading in general is a lot of people that love to read love it for the escapism. We want to be transported. We want to go somewhere else. And audiobooks aid in that. With the audiobooks, we get to go even farther than what our, imagination was able to do for us, because now we have added pieces. You don't realize how important your hearing is when you're trying to do something. So let me know when you sign up for LibroFM. Let me know. And then let me know in the comments what your favorite audiobooks are. I would love to know. And if you would like to see like a second part to this or a continuation of this video, let me know, because these were only some, but there are a bunch of other ones that I have too that I'm sure you guys would love to know about. So if no one has told you today, I love you. You're kind. You are smart. You are important. Bye, friends.